Hello, everyone in YouTube and X. Today we are having Yusuf from Base. Hey, Yusuf, how are you?
Hi Juan, how's it going?
Doing great, excited. This is our second workshop of the week, heading to ETH Latam, the conference, and the hackathon. So we are going to be, learning about Base. Exciting to having one of the most active developer communities, and hoping to get more people from Brazil on board. Mm, so I will be on the backstage helping you. If you want, you can share screen. I can put you on the stage. But before, like, if you can introduce yourself with the community, it's
Yeah,
the stage is yours.
definitely. There's a little bit of a lag, so for the audience to know that where that comes from. But yeah, I'm Yusuf. I'm very excited to be here also with to uh, present Base and the Base tools for the developer community of eFlatam. So I'm part of the developer relations team at Base, and a lot of my time I focus on Base account, and now we also have the Base Bridge. So that's very exciting. It's an area where I'm also leading. I am also quite familiar with the rest of the Base stack, so including Base app mini apps, even though I'm not the developer relations lead on them. So yeah, just for kind of like your general information about Base, we're a small team of like 4 dev roles, and every dev role has something that they're more focused on. So regardless of that, today I will try to show all of the Base tools, and specifically regarding the bounties that we set up. So yeah, I can go into that, but yeah, maybe I pushed it more than a personal presentation. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of today.
Amazing to have you here. So whenever you want, just like share your screen. I will, move
All
you
right.
to the main stage.
Yeah, and if at any point,
I don't see your screen yet.
yeah, I'm sharing. I'm sharing a bit. Um, if at any
There you go.
point someone has a question, please put the question in the comments at X, and I think at YouTube as well. And Juan will take care of
Mhm.
uh, transmitting your questions. It's great if it's an interactive session. Basically, I'm going to be going through the docs a little bit and then showing you a few maybe code examples here and there for what you can do. And so I'll start a little bit with um, base account, uh, sub account. So sub account is the bounty, and then I will go ahead for mini apps. So yeah, so let me start with sub accounts.
Let's do it.
And so
One
yeah, go ahead.
suggestion, maybe a bit more of Zoom,
Yeah.
because the letter is not big enough. There you go. So I will be at the best backstage. So any question that you guys have on our channels, I will repost that here with Yusuf.
Awesome. Yeah, let me start with base account, sub account. So first of all, what is base account? Base account is the account that is backed with your passkey that is created when you sign up to Base app. And so in the Base app, you learn, you earn um, USDC, you earn ETH maybe, and is your trading wallet for a lot of you. And so that same account, you can use it on the web surface on other places. And that means that we have things like sign in with Base. So, if you take a look, for example, at Base Dev, you can see that we have these sign in flows here where you can, sign in with Base and sign messages just like any other wallet. So, your Base account is useful for that. And also, Base account has multiple other features. One of them is sub accounts. And sub accounts is an app-specific account that is tied to the domain of the app that you are navigating on. And what it does is in pairing sub-accounts with something that we call spend permissions. So these are permissions that you give the app to spend from your wallet, let's say every day, a certain amount of dollars. The pairing of sub-accounts and spend permissions gives you an experience that is quite similar to embedded wallets, like Privy and other embedded wallet solutions. CDP, Coinbase Developer Platform, also has embedded wallet solution. But basically, it allows you to skip these wallet pop-up confirmations. So that's what's really cool about sub-accounts. And really, the implementation of sub-accounts is pretty easy because all you have to do is when you create an instance of base account SDK, you set up a config here where you say sub-account creation on Connect. So this would create a sub-account for your users on Connect. And then you say default account sub. So which account would you like to submit transactions with as a default option? And it looks something like this. So if you can share, so let me share this link here in the chat. Juan, if you can share it in the chat as well. But it's basically sub-accounts, sub-accounts-fc dot versell.app. So sub-accounts-fc.versell.app. And so this is a demo of sub-accounts, and you will be able to see how it works, and you can try it for yourself. But I want to be able to show you this in this very quick video demo of Stefan, who created this demo. So as you can see here, so as you can see here, when you click on the tip, and you can try this yourself again while following the workshop, when you click on tip, it will give you this pop-up window that asks you to skip further approvals. So this makes it so the sub-account gets a spend permission of $1 a day from your universal account. And after that, once you confirm, so if you say skip further approvals, confirm, you can tip without. Okay, so he will confirm. And then after that, you can tip without pop-ups. So as he clicks tip here, there are no pop-ups. And yeah, I would love for you to test this. Again, the link is sub-accounts-fc.versell.app. And if you look at the docs, I think we even have that demo here if you click on the link here in the docs. So if you go to base docs, base account, basically the sub-account docs, sharing the link here in the chat also with Juan, maybe you can share it with you in the comments, you will find this page and you can click on the demo here if you want to see it. So yeah, this is kind of the user experience for sub-accounts. Now, when it comes to the developer experience, I have a template here. So if you go to GitHub, not web, sorry, demos. So base demos repo, again, sharing this here. So it's basically github.com/base/demos. You will find that there is a demo of auto sub accounts too. And I will go through some of that code now in this auto sub accounts demo. So this is definitely not the one. Oh, no, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so going through that code, very easily and very simply. As you can see here, I'm initializing the SDK. I think I'm running this actually on localhost. Okay, cool. I'm initializing the SDK. So I have a new SDK instance where I specify that I want sub-accounts on creation and I want the default account to be a sub-account. And yeah, let's take a look at the flow here. Hopefully it still works. I vibe coded this. Okay, cool. So now you can see the universal account address that I have, and you can see the sub-account address, and the sub-account is connected. So if I do, let me try to send 0.1 USDC to like a recipient address. Okay, this is, okay. For some reason, it's not working for me, but sub-accounts have not been working for me today for some weird new reason. Anyway, I'll take a look at this later, but for you, it should work. I think I removed a signer because I was playing a little bit too deep with the feature. But yeah, I'll uncover where that comes from. But for you, this should work. And when it comes to the implementation here, what you can see is that basically I just create an instance of the sub account, the base account SDK with sub accounts enabled here in the config, and then I send transactions, and that's it. There's not much happening here. It's just sending basically a simple USDC transfer. So yeah, I think this probably covers some of the more solid grounds around sub-accounts. But to recap, the user experience looks a little bit like embedded wallets in that you don't have these wallet pop-ups that are kind of annoying to the users. But in addition to that, the issue with embedded wallets is that you have, okay, let me see. So let me just verify this here. So the issue with embedded wallets is that you have these wallets scattered around multiple apps. With base account, you can get one universal account and multiple sub-accounts, and you can actually check your sub-accounts here at account.base.app. So that's also a very cool feature of sub-accounts, is that you can actually aggregate all these accounts. Now, this is a very kind of like frontier feature of base account. These are things that are like we're still building day after day. We're trying to make them better, but that's the vision of sub accounts, right? You would have multiple app specific accounts, and you can see the aggregation of all these accounts on one surface. So we're going through this, we're going through the bugs, we're going through the issues, we're going through the problems, and we're trying to bring this new kind of like experience of smart wallets, smart accounts, with additional features to solve the problem. So I'll stop here. I would love to give us a chance to see if there are any questions. Sorry, there was a question maybe that went by.
No yet. I would just like be like the interface between our students and you. Thinking on the hackathon, so what are like the type of projects that hackers could be building with this? Just like to get some inspiration or to brainstorm things that you would like to see of people hacking during the event.
Yeah, this is an awesome question. I think, let me see. Hopefully they still have it. Okay. So I think this is like a cool example, right? Like this is limitless. They're not using sub accounts, but I wish they were. But the idea is like when you have these kind of like very quick apps that you want to have the user kind of like interact very quickly, not go through these, pop-up confirmations, it makes sense, for example, for this app to be with sub-accounts, because you can like say below or above and then move on to the next one, right? Let's say, I don't know, I've never tried this actually. Let me see. So this does not use sub-accounts, and the transaction failed for whatever reason. Let me try again. Okay, transaction failed. So hopefully this works. Hopefully you build something that like where the transaction does not fail. But what I mean is that like when you have these kind of like very fast-paced apps, for example, like the Tinder-like style of like swiping, it's like you can imagine like prediction marker, like swipe left or right, and like with every swipe, if you swipe right, you buy. If you swipe left, you don't buy, for example, for coins or something like that. And then if you're swiping right and you buy, you don't want to have like these wallet confirmations every time. You just want to like go, 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 go. And so, and the transaction could happen in the background. Another one is gaming, right? Gaming this is like very cool for gaming. The example that you saw in the demo is like this tip in. So you give like a small spin permissions, and then it keeps tipping for like how much you give per day. So I think these are some of the applications that I think would be very cool to see. Now, the sad thing is sub accounts don't work in mini apps today. So we're trying to bring we're trying to bring them to mini apps. We're bringing them to mini apps soon, but today they don't work in mini apps. So if you're building with sub accounts, you're not going to be able to turn your app into a mini app right away, but you can still use it. It's just not going to be with sub accounts. You can have a mini app that like outside of the web surface uses sub accounts, and in base app it uses just normal sign in, or like in Farcaster it uses normal sign in. So yeah, I think that's something to keep in mind, specifically that we have two bounties here. So I think one of them is sub accounts, the other one is mini apps, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But given that we have these two bounties, you can still apply for them both. Just keep in mind that it's not going to work off the bat. So you need to do a little bit of like, check in, is this a mini app or not? So yeah.
Sorry, I lost you a bit. You were asking me something.
Yeah, I was saying we have two bounties, which is mini apps, right? Like two tracks. One is mini apps and the other one is sub accounts. And so I was explaining how you can submit to both if you wanted to submit to both. Sub accounts don't work in mini apps, so you would have to either in your app like check is mini app, and then if it's a mini app, then don't use sub accounts, or some other way.
Yeah. Sorry for that. That like the mini app is like the missing social part.
Social part. Sorry. Okay, I'll answer as if I understood the question there. I think we lost Juan, but so I'll get to mini apps.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, all good. I'll get to mini apps. I would like to know if there are like any other questions. Like if you were to incarnate a hacker, what other questions would you have about sub accounts or something like that before we jump into mini apps?
I mean that's it. We can go through to the mini apps. So let's jump into that type of bounty and track.
So the second track is mini apps, right? And as I said in the beginning, I may not be the most expert on mini apps compared to Sohi or Pat, some of my DevRel colleagues. But mini apps, basically, if you're not familiar with them, base app mini apps are pretty much similar to Farcaster mini apps in terms of the spec. I think we have a lot of resources here in our docs to learn how to build mini apps in the base app. Whether you are migrating from an existing app or you're creating a new mini app, you can do both. You can use the Farcaster SDK, or I think you can use Minikit as well, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think now our recommended way is just using the Farcaster SDK. Yeah, no, this uses Minikit. So if you're going from a new app, I would use Minikit. If you're migrating, there's a lot of resources here, how to migrate. I think the most important thing that you would need to keep in mind is that you need to create something that's called a manifest. And the manifest, what it does is it actually, what it does is that it creates the metadata of your app on the base app. And so here you can see how to generate your signatures to create the manifest, and also how to build a manifest. And we have a lot of tools, multiple templates that you can play with. Also in the demos repo, you can learn a lot about how to use the mini app context through the docs. And also you can use some of the base account features in mini apps, depending if they're supported or not. So yeah, one more thing here, I guess, is if you are building a mini app, make sure to check this checklist here to see if your mini app follows some of the standards and UX practices that are recommended here. I think it might be useful to perhaps, I'd love to show like a real example here, but we don't have a web version. Okay. All right. Well, instead of showing that, let me take a look here at some of the examples from mini app templates. So in the demos here, you can see like full mini app demos and templates. And so one cool thing actually is that we have also, okay, anyway, in the demos repo, you can see a lot of the templates. As you can see here, one of the most important things I think is building with the frame provider. So it's in components, providers, frame provider. Okay. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you go from this mini app full demo in the templates. Also, if you're building with mini apps, we have a full demo here that uses the Farcaster SDK. There are demos here that use Minikit. And yeah, I think this is pretty much relevant. I mean, I can dive more into the details, but really, I would 100% encourage you to go through this. And if you have questions during your building, reach out on our base Discord here in developer support. So yeah, make sure to go in our base Discord and ask in developer support. Go ahead, Juan. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask you later. We're going to share all these links on our group. I mean, we are having a WhatsApp group with all the students, so they can have access to the links that you share regarding the sub accounts, and also we will invite all the hackers to join the base Discord server. Any channel that they will be looking for in case of
Yeah, we do have.
even like mini apps.
Yeah, we have channels for all of these things. So we have channels for base account, for Minikit, for base build, which I will show you what base build is in a bit. But also we do have a ticket system. The developer support ticket system. So you can open a ticket here, connect with base DevRel team, and we'll try to answer within 24 hours as best as we can, so long as it doesn't go into the weekend. But also you can reach out to me on X. So I'll share my X profile here. So if you're feeling like it's late and it's the weekend and no one's answering you on Discord, try to reach out to me on X. I'm around usually in the weekends, and I can check my DMs and see if there's someone who has any problems. They can try to answer your questions. Just let me know that you come from ETH Latam and you're hacking. So the hackathon's happening on the weekend, right?
Actually, going to happen on the 6th and 7th. I think those are Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, then that's
The event's going to be on Friday.
That's all good.
Even better.
But yeah, even better. It's great. Then you will probably have a lot of people that are connected. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to drop a message in Discord. Other people can also answer you. Whereas like if you DM me, maybe I'm sleeping or something. One other thing that I think is very cool is that we have something called base.dev. And so if you go to base.dev, you will find that you can import your mini apps. So in the manifest, you can add an owner address, and it needs to be the same address that you're connected with here. So in base.dev, you can import your mini apps. You can see analytics. And you can also preview links to your mini app. So I think I still haven't used it yet because I'm very much focused on base account demos that I'm building. But it's great. And again, if you have any questions about base.dev, feel free to drop them. If you have any feedback, we're happy to hear that. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to drop them in Discord. However you feel. But I think this is great, and we have some amount of docs here. Okay, where does this lead to? Okay, this leads to the Discord. Okay, so this is kind of, I think, an overview of the base developer tools that you would need for you to build in this hackathon. I can overwhelm you with like a lot more information, but I think there's a lot of things here to discover. And generally speaking, I think for these two tracks, sub accounts and mini apps, I'm pretty confident in the quality of the docs and the quality of the demos that we have. So I think it should be pretty, more or less good enough for you to build, decent mini apps. But yeah, let me know if you have any feedback or questions. Would love to answer. All good.
For sure. We will gather all the feedback to improve that, but I'm pretty sure that they are going to have like all the information over there. Maybe we can talk about like some practical tips and some advice for the hackathon. How would you tackle a hackathon in your personal experience?
Yeah, this is a good question. I mean, I would say keep it very simple. So don't, like, if I'm landing on your project, don't overwhelm me with 5 features and try and show me that you managed to build a full platform in 3 days. One, you probably have a lot of bugs there. If you have 4 features or 5 features, there's more bugs. 2, the judges usually they don't have time to go through all the features anyway, and so you're just going to overwhelm them. They're going to be a little bit confused about what's the value prop. Make sure they have one feature and do it really well. And so if like the feature is like swiping left and right for you to swipe left or right for you to buy a coin, that's the feature, that's the thing. As soon as I land on your app, that's what I see. Like just lead with the value prop and the feature exactly how it is, and try to make it super, super simple. And like just creativity and good user experience goes way beyond you trying to show that you're like extremely technical and like can integrate 5 features that you probably, again, are somewhat buggy. So one simple thing, the app that I showed the demo is like tipping. That's it. We're tipping. That's what we're doing on the app. We're not doing anything else. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Great, and everything in crypto is about like doing things that are composable. So if you develop something that works like really well, then you can connect everything with like the ecosystem. So I'm curious about like what are like the missing pieces that the base ecosystem is needing, or how we can just like create, because what I see hackathons is a great playground to do crazy ideas, but also to test new things that the base ecosystem doesn't have yet.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think um hmm, that's a uh, yeah, I think maybe hmm, I think when it comes to, base has a lot of like social protocols that are successful. And even when they're not built on base, most people there build on base. So for example, Farcaster is not, does not settle on base. I think it settles on OP. But most people who are building in Farcaster, most people who are transacting Farcaster transact on base. Zora is on base. The base app obviously is a social app. And so what I would say is there is probably a lot of opportunity in building alternative kind of like looking platforms or alternative experiences based on the social graphs and the protocols that exist. And so for example, you could see something like, again, going back to the swipe experience, you could see something like Zora posts being going like through as a Tinder experience, and you like buy or not buy left and right. And they like, there's a, if you really want to make it really cool, is like you can have a very like interesting algorithm behind it of how what posts are showing, how are they showing, are they your posts, or can you show like all of the posts that like Jesse buys. Again, one feature, it's still one feature, it's like swipe left and right to buy a Zora coin, content coin. But this is, you can show like your technicality and like scale it with show with these like adjacent kind of like add-ons and like cool stuff that make the feature much, much better. So that's great for a hackathon too, because you can start by building something super simple and see if you get there. So if you get there super simple, if you get there very quickly, then you can build on it and make it even better and even better. And so I think a lot of like that space is probably very much fun to play with. Trying to build like alternative, UIs for these things. And so one thing is like the swipe in. Another idea could be like, what other like more, I guess, advanced UI can you build? For example, when it comes to like trade-in terminals and stuff like that. Again, keep it very simple. Are you like, if you're even like very, I guess, more on the technical side, you can build like smart contracts for like 2x leverage content coin. There's like build stuff that where the community is already built in, but just alternative versions and like new ways to consume that vertical. I think that's very interesting. I think another very interesting vertical on base is something like Morpho and other DeFi protocols that are like just stable coins with USDC. X402 is another vertical that's probably pretty cool to explore at this point. Uh, how agents and this could actually work well with sub accounts. So you could build like an AI agent that uses X402 in the background. I don't know if CDP is sponsoring, but you can like mix bounties, right? Also, you should be careful from like trying to Frankenstein projects to mix bounties. It's maybe a bit too much, but if CDP is sponsored, and then you have like Explorer 2 from like Third Web or CDP or some of these other companies that are like offering Explorer 2 services. You can mix that with like an AI agent that uses sub accounts and split permissions, and you give it a spin permission, for example, and it invests for you in on Morpho or something, right? Every day, like takes $20 or whatever and makes the investment on Morpho, or like buys Ethereum or something like that. If you have experience with building AI agents, it's not that hard. And honestly, there's a lot of tools from like CDP to help, even the trading API and stuff like that. But if you're building something like this, make sure you have some experience with AI agents, because you might get a bit lost in 2-3 days. Yeah, I think these are some of the ideas that come to mind when I'm thinking about what's missing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I throw you this like question without like any preparation, but I think like you that made you think of the different types of way to go through. And unfortunately, we don't have Guilherme here. He's from Brazil and he's leading the base Brazil community. Definitely, guys, we're going to connect you with him, because also hackathons are like a good place to experiment and to solve local problems. So definitely hit them up on X. I will share his account. And also, something that I really like and admire about Base is that you guys are picking like yeah, key leaders in the region. So you have in Central America Carlos Melgar, in Mexico Almond, in Argentina you have Sebas Aldosoro and Guilherme. So you have like local people, they are there for you to be successful. So I mean, also like to see like the community, you have Base Brazil, Base Mexico, etc. So there is a good way also to see what the community is needing, and try to make these partnerships and work together with existing projects that maybe they are missing a feature or something that they would like to see like develop on their own communities.
Yeah. I'm very happy that we have those on the ground people to bring that voice. And yeah, hopefully we do more of that, and we're also like more connected, and it changes a lot, I think. It's also important for people to feel that there are people around them, understand the culture, understand what needs to be built and things like that. So turning the question to you, I guess, I know that stable coins are pretty popular in Latin America. And do you think that is this still relevant, given the, I guess, the population of developers here? Is it like mostly Brazilian? So is that even relevant for Brazil as well? It doesn't seem like it. I mean, Brazil has a more or less quite a stable currency.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm from Colombia, but what I have seen is that definitely there's a good idea to have your own local currency, like tokenized, because you can develop things that are useful for the people. So you don't have to explain them what is a token. They already use reais in the case of Brazil. So definitely connecting with the already existing stable coins in Brazil, which I'm not an expert, but I guess there are going to be projects more than happy for them to integrate that on their app, and yeah, like dynamize, like make the economy move faster. That will be my guess. For example, in the case of Colombia, you have the guys of Celo. They are helping them to develop the C cup. So definitely there is like other examples in the case of Brazil as well. Like digital payments are really widespread, so people use something that is called Pix. So people are already onboarded. And the thing in Latam, besides like stable coins for trading and retail, people here in Latam, they are looking for investment opportunities. Like people are really curious about how to move their assets, because there is like some uncertainty depending on the country. Like you can see like great examples of a lot of innovation in Venezuela and Argentina, because their currencies are more like volatile. But I will compare Colombia, Mexico, Brazil are more stable economies. But even though people are looking for places to invest their money, because in some like layers of the economy, like people are struggling to getting by the end of the month. So you have access to investment like tools, they can make their money to like to go further.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Um, that's very cool, and it's also great to see how all markets have like different ways of interacting with crypto, and also like what they see in it. Yeah, I would love to see what the community will build. Also, like, don't be too influenced by the ideas that I threw out. Is like, I'm only talking about ideas that come to me, but like the coolest ideas will come from you. So feel free to kind of like imagine anything, build anything that you like, and yeah, just make sure to, I guess, to focus your efforts on something that is like very specific and clear.
Yeah, I really like this conversation, not only to like to think on your MVP for the hackathon, but also being strategic and not to create a Frankenstein, trying to put a lot of bounties at the same time in your project. Because I
Yeah.
mean, if you this is more like my personal opinion, in these 5 years that have been working in Ethereum, I have been betting on Ethereum since like 2020, and exploring some L2 ecosystems. And what I have seen, if you like jump from like ecosystem to ecosystem, you are not building any trust. And also like it's like opportunity cost. Maybe you go there and you learn some Cairo because you were excited about Starknet, and then
Mm.
you jump to Scroll because you are also excited about CK, but then you move back to an optimistic roll up like OP. But if you are just like hunting for bounties, I mean, you are not going to go deep on an ecosystem, and you are not going to build relationships with like humans, because at the end you are developing trust. So not only go for the buck or for where the money is, which is normal. I mean, those like that's the power of incentives, but also to be more strategic about where you go deep. And what I have seen in the case of base recently is like you guys picking those like local in the ground on the ground people. That is like a clear signal that you want to have Brazilians that understand Brazil, Mexicans that understand Mexico, etc. So that's a way that your guys are playing for the long run, and you want to get involved with the people to make this technology useful for, yeah, the people in each country and region.
Yeah, and I would love for like the developer communities there to also build their own kind of like whatever is relevant for them, like the demos that are relevant for them, and hopefully in the future we would have more contributions from the community. We would have like demos that also like work for people there, and multiple languages, maybe hopefully in the docs and things like that. Definitely something that would be very interesting. And having there's like also opportunities to with this grassroots community that is like just started in Latin America now with Guillermo and others, to be part of that grassroots community, to connect with these people. So check out some of the meetups, check out the base Latam page on X, see what meetups are coming. For example, in Brazil, go and like meet Guillermo, talk to him about what you're trying to build. There's like always opportunities at base. Is like base batches that just happened and will keep happening. There are like these recommendations that we can make to things like Alliance DAO and Y Combinator and things like that. So um, there's always like new opportunities coming up for builders, and I think we are just getting started. Like when it comes to this part of like growth, literally all of the like global builders and like global growth team, like Guillermo and Sebas that you mentioned, they all joined like a few months ago. So this is like the ground zero, day one. when you can go and like be part of that grassroots community that is building around you. So, and if you have ideas about like things that you can build in your even more local close community, I think you should definitely speak to these, country leads, and they, should be able to help you to set that up. But yeah, you can't cover the whole world, and that's why, hopefully we work with people who are not even like country leads or anything. They're just part of the base community. They want to build stuff, and we can like help them and push them and support them there.
For sure, for sure. I think that's more than enough, and also great to just like to leave some like few messages, but clear and strong ones. So thank you, Joseph, for your time. And what a shame that we're not going to meet each other in Sao Paulo, but definitely I know you're going to be around on Discord, on X. Thank you for like being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Juan. It's such a cool experience. And muito obrigado, gracias to all of the East Latin people. And yeah, last time I actually did a workshop in my broken Portuguese. It was kind of fun. It was more funny to them than fun to me. But
yeah. We were talking about the backstage because Joseph is located in Portugal, so you know some Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was fun doing this. Hopefully next time, maybe in a year or so, if I'm doing it again, my Portuguese is much better and I can do it again in Portuguese.
For sure, Joseph. Thank you so much. Take a rest because it's quite late over there. Well, we will keep in touch. Bye bye. Thank you.